You know what you don't want to do, right? You don't want to be a professional boxer. You don't want to be a mailman. And you just slowly eliminate things until some direction pops up, right? What's imposter syndrome? You're not capable. You don't deserve it. You don't think you can do it. You don't believe enough in yourself. Go out there and try and make it happen. Who says you're not good enough? You? Well, why in the hell are you listening to you? What do you know? You have no idea what's even going on in the world. Why would you listen to yourself that you're not good enough? Hey, I haven't looked for a job in 2 years. Nobody's going to want to hire me. What do I do? Right? Does anybody have anything they want to throw out for this person immediately? And I really just wanted to kind of get someone to start answering because I wanted some participation from you guys. I'll try to answer most of the questions. My biggest question would be, who says they're not going to hire him? Has he been told no 100 times?
Yes, they've been looking and
Have they been looking or have they been applying online and hoping? Okay, because there's two big distinct differences there. Okay.
They've been applying online and hoping.
Okay, and how's that working out for them? It's not, right?
No.
Because it's stupid, right? Why are you playing the game the way they want you to play it, right? What do they want you to do? Apply and hope and they get to pick from you. Screw that, right? Who's got your job that you want to go work for? Who's doing the thing that you want to do? What is it he wants to do? And who does that? And get in their childhood birthday photos, right? Make them tell you no. Because here's the thing. First off, he's creating an excuse. Second off, he doesn't believe in himself. So if there's nowhere else he starts, the one piece of advice you give someone in this situation is give yourself some credit. Okay. You finish school, it's been a couple years, and you're actually going to get back and try. I'm proud of you. Great job. Right? Because the only spot to start in any of this is in positivity, right? If you start in negativity and say, no one's going to hire me, who's going to hire you? Not a damn soul, right? You got me? So it all starts with an end. Give yourself some credit and then take action and get started. Because until 100 people have told him no, he hasn't tried.
Okay.
You got me? Follow-up question?
If you're trying to figure out what the heck you want to do, because I am graduating pretty soon and I don't know what I want to get into yet because I don't have that much experience as of yet.
For you, it's trying to figure out what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else in here have this same thing? I don't know what I want to do. Anybody? Raise their hands. I'm raising my hand. I have no idea what the hell I want to do, right? Does that make you feel better or worse? Right? How would you know what you want to do? How old are you?
I am 26.
26. Well, you've got a little more time in the game, but maybe not in the particular game we're working on. How would you know what you want to do, right? Unless you do what? Well, and try and do it, right? I was talking to a kid earlier today. He's finishing up his mechanical engineering degree. I want to work in manufacturing. How do you know? Well, I think that's what I want to do. Well, how could you find out? Well, what if I got an internship in manufacturing? That seems pretty easy, right? Oh, well, how do I do that? Well, you just get started, right? But the first thing is to figure out rough direction. You've got a rough direction of what you want to do.
Well, I was planning to just go apply for some jobs and whatever pops up.
I'm going to just strangle you right now. You're not even going to get to do that because I'm just going to choke you out. If you're going to go apply for jobs, then don't even finish this discussion. Go get your job, right?
Okay.
Figure out some rough idea, some area, some direction of something you might want to do, and then go find some people doing it and hang out with them.
So just pick some random thing, even if you know.
It won't be random. You know what you don't want to do, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be a professional boxer. You don't want to be a mailman. You don't want to work at the taco stand. And you just slowly eliminate things until some direction pops up, right? There's got to be some direction. What do you like doing? What's your why?
Something in CS. Specifically, I would say I want to get into information systems, but that's still a large area within that.
Okay. Seems like you could throw a dart and hit something, right?
Yeah, but would it be try to figure out what you want to do within that, or just pick something, even if you don't know much about it, and try to
somebody answer it? What should you do?
I can answer it.
My man, he's back. You're going to join me in this. You're going to be here sitting beside me next time, right? What you got?
So the biggest thing I'm going to tell you now is at the end of the day, there's no rules to the game. So a lot of times the biggest issue is you're going to try to think it's one or the other, or you're going to try to create confines for the reason why you don't want to go do something. At the end of the day, as long as you're finding out, learning, and developing yourself, it's not a waste of time. So as you go through these jobs and go through these things, this is how you learn to develop what you like or don't like. Like music, your music taste was developed since you were like a baby. However old you are, that's how long it has taken for you to develop your music choice. So when you think about your career, there's a standpoint where you're still a baby who is trying to learn to stand and walk in your career. So like at the end of the day, you don't lose out by trying to go do a job. The only time you lose out is if you try to avoid it and you don't.
And here's the important thing, right? Well, so let's say you start and you try something and you hate it. Now what do you know?
Don't do that again.
Not that, right? It's like dating, right? Go out with the person, you immediately know if you want to go out with them again, right? Now you can cross off. Now there's only, what, 6.9 billion more people you got to go through, right? Got me? So you got to get started. All right.
Wait,
Next
hold on.
question.
Professor Zane, can I add on one thing? It took me 4 to 5 companies before I realized what I liked. It's not
Notice most people, find anyone that's graduated within the last 2 years and look at how many jobs they've had. Look at people that have been out there 4 or 5 or 6 years, especially your age, because you guys are smart. You'll jump ship before. See, we were told if you leave before a year, no one will hire you. That's fucking bullshit, especially in engineering, right? What do they want in engineering? Can you do anything? Because we ain't got nobody. There are no engineers, okay? I'm telling you that right now. As a professional engineer with 40-something licenses, there are very few of me. There's maybe like 100 of me in the country.
Yeah.
Okay. And all that work's got to go through us. And everything that went to China is re-onshoring. And North America is building out completely. You're in the perfect major at the perfect time doing the perfect thing. All you got to do is go to work. You get to pick where you want to go. You're in the same boat I was in as Gen X. Every single one of us, we were the smallest group to ever come through school. There weren't very many of us. We all had 12 and 14 job offers. We got to pick where we went. You guys are going to get to do the same thing. If you get these notions out of your head. Oh, they're not going to hire me if. How do you know? Who told you no? Oh, they'll never go out with me because I'm 5'4". Well, how do you know? Right? Have 100 people told you no? Absolutely not. Get out there and fail, right? All right, next question. Yes.
How do you like raise professional friends? I guess how do you go from like being like a student and then like going out and being like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go hang out with a bunch of like computer scientists. Like, where do you just like find them at like conferences? Do you find them beyond conferences? I don't know where else, like what other pools I would look at.
You'll hear me say a lot of times, who do you know that knows someone? That's the question I ask. I don't ask anyone for help. I don't ask anyone if they know how to do something. I ask them if they know someone that knows someone. And then a lot of times they'll argue with me that they're the person that will help me. Now I don't even have to ask them anymore, right? Who do you know that knows somebody? How'd you meet this group? Were you sitting at home? Were you chilling? Were you watching Netflix? Did you talk to somebody? Okay, so a friend knew somebody. So you knew them and they knew somebody. It's almost like you could do that, right?
Yeah.
Again, if I gave you $1 million to get a list of 50 computer scientists, how quick would you have me that list? Pretty fast, right?
A day.
It would take you that long for $1 million? I'd do that shit in the next 10 minutes. I'd have Chat GPT do it, right? Got me? Treat everything like that. And you can use the carrot and the stick, right? Hey, you get $1 million if you do it, or shoot your mom in her face if you don't. Which one are you going to do, right? You're going to do it, right? I have an engineer that I ask her if she's sure, and I'll say a gun to your dog's head, because her dog's the most important thing on earth. And that way she knows how important it is. And she's like, gun to my dog's head, it's good. And then I know I can stamp it, right? You got me?
Yeah.
Use that. You're going to have to trick your mind, because who's your biggest enemy? Yourself. Your mind is your biggest enemy, right? You're in there battling every single day with them, right? To get up, to go do something, and to do what you're supposed to do. You're battling them literally every single day, right? They're not your friend. They're your enemy. You got to fight them. You got to trick them. You got to find a way to manipulate them. You got to find a way to excite them and get them going, right? So whatever you got to do.
How do you manipulate your mind?
Everybody's a little bit different, right? Everybody's got something that can drive them, right? And you might have to go to a cold, dark place to get there, right? Anybody ever heard of Eddie Hall? Massive power lifter. There's a really good documentary on him doing the world record deadlift. It was, I think, 1,100 pounds. Okay, what do you deadlift, Freddie?
Not
165.
that's
Dude pulled 1,100 pounds off the ground. Okay, here's the interesting part of the story. When he was deciding to do this, because he had won World's Strongest Man, he's a powerful dude, he's going to do something that makes a difference in the world, right? He gets a bunch of scientists and engineers together and goes, how do I do this? And here's the problem. You can't physically do it with our body, our frame, and our skeletal system. It's not physically possible. And he's like, well, I'm not accepting that for an answer. Somebody's got to do this. There's got to be some way to do that. You can't do it. You can't do it. So he brought in a bunch of psychologists. The only way you're going to get there is to do the mom, kids trapped under a burning car strength. That's the only way you're going to make this happen. And if you watch this documentary, he sets up over the course of about 4 to 5 months what he's going to do. And he says, I couldn't actually go there because I still needed to use it when I was underweight, right? But and it's funny because they're asking him, well, what were you thinking about? And this man who weighs 400 pounds and lifted 1,100 pounds off the floor begins weeping, because that's where he had to go to get deep enough into his mind to make it so real and so important that he snatched 1,100 pounds off the floor. And the funny part, if you watch the lift, he said he had a problem because he's very egotistical and headstrong. And he actually looked 3 people directly in the eyes that told him he couldn't do it. And he almost blew his brain out because he was holding 1,100 pounds the whole time. So whatever you got to do to make it happen, and a lot of you guys, you've got a great story. You've told me many times, I will crush these weak ass people in the United States because I come from nothing. And a lot of us that have privilege, we've got to manufacture that. We got to find a way to make that happen, right? Once you have kids, it's pretty easy, but sometimes there's something greater than that you got to tap into. You got to make it important. I use the stick and a carrot a lot. Hey, I get to eat a cupcake if I do it. I got to do 100 burpees if I don't. Okay, I hate burpees more than anything on earth. So I'm probably going to do it, right? And I love cupcakes. Got me? All right, next question. Got you? Is that good?
Yeah.
What you got?
So I noticed it from your list. It's the help them with imposter syndrome.
So when I teach class, the first thing I do in the beginning of class is I ask you guys what's killing you. And almost every time you guys answer me imposter syndrome. Everybody know what that is? I see a furrowed brow. You're like, I can look that up, figure out what that is. Somebody describe it for me. What's imposter syndrome?
Thinking you're not good enough, thinking that you don't belong, or not feeling like you are capable because
You're not capable, you don't deserve it, you don't think you can do it, you don't believe enough in yourself, right? Has anybody got those feelings? Anybody in this room?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody? Show of hands. I got the hands back there. You're shaking your head. I don't see a hand. All right. She's over here going through my book stack, which I love. That's why I took a picture of that. Yeah, it's the biggest thing in front of you, right? Because what do you guys see? You pick this up and what do you see? Oh, so-and-so's in Cabo. So-and-so has a car. So-and-so, but they don't post the bad shit, do they? Huh? They don't post a credit card bill or their uncle died or their dog just got run over, any of that crap, right? So what do you think? You think the world's amazing and better than what you're doing, right? But you look at yourself in that lens and suddenly you feel bad about yourself, right? And now you think you're not good enough and you can't do it. And you got to have 500 likes before you'll even get off the couch, right? And when we're in a store, we can't even buy anything without going on Amazon and getting 12 reviews saying it's good, right? We got to have everybody tell it's good before we'll try it, right? Where's that going to get us? Where's it getting you guys? It's crushing you, right? Looking for answers, right? Looking for answers. The thing is you've got the answer. You got it within you. Go out there and try, make it happen. Who says you're not good enough? You? Well, why in the hell are you listening to you? What do you know? Seriously, it's like taking investment advice from somebody that brown bags their lunch. Why in the hell would you do that? You have no idea what's even going on in the world. Why would you listen to yourself that you're not good enough? Turn on 2 seconds of my content online. What am I going to tell you? You got this, right? I believe in you. I've seen a whole lot more than every one of you guys has probably combined, right? Believe in me. If you're not going to believe in you, find someone else to believe in until you believe in yourself, right? You got me? Imposter syndrome is crushing. Okay. Don't let it beat you. You got to get past it. Now, how do you begin to build confidence in yourself?
I feel like the confidence is built by the experience. Like when you do it like often, it's kind of like make you build the confidence because like you feel like you can do it. But I feel like the confidence is based on the mindset. Many people they have like the strength in might not found what they kind of like found the thing that they have yet. That's why they have a major. Like some people may be good at math, some people may be good in English. It like you cannot like for me, I'm trying to not like compare myself to other people because I feel like many people they have many like background, and I feel like when you compare yourself to other people, you don't know their background and you don't know how they work hard on that.
Let me speak to that, and I'm just going to cut you off just for sake of time.
Okay.
You got me till 6:30. Let me ask you this question: if I applied my framework to an 8-year-old boy, what's going to happen? Does he have a chance? He's going to fail, right? If I
Yes.
applied my framework to you, are you going to cut it? You're a major failure in that sense, right?
Mhm.
Why would I apply my framework to you? You're not me. You got to apply your own framework to yourself. You do have to ask your question of yourself, am I doing all that I can? And you're probably not, right? Is anybody here at level 11 in output? Is anybody doing 10% more than they thought they could? You're not, right? And you can find time in the day and you can do those things. But you do have to build up the small wins. You got to start believing in yourself. First thing you can do is change the circle of people around you, right? You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. Think about that real quick. Run through those 5 people. Who's the 5 people you hang out with the most? Picture them
I
in your head.
agree with that.
It's science. It's proven
Yeah.
fact. It's been shown. You're going to average the same amount of money, same amount of health, same outlook on life, right? Science. Read the papers, follow the stuff. It's all there. The data has been run. It is clear. So how do you achieve more? You find people who are achieving more and you hang out with them, right? I just spent a week in Mexico with 60 people. Some are doing $100, $200 million for the second time. One of the guys helped create Ethereum. Okay. Am I getting boosted by those people? Probably, right? You got to raise the level of the people around you. And the other thing is you got to raise the level of yourself when you're around others. You got to be the better person for those people. Do you understand what I just said there? This is
Yes.
multi-directional, right? You got to go both ways. You got to find people better than you, and you got to go help people that you're better than. And if you do those
I
things
agree.
and you get some positivity around you and people in your life that are pushing you, and hey, I could show you WhatsApp messages from these 70 people that I hung out with 2 weeks ago, and we're still talking to each other. You got this. Hey man, get that, make it happen today. Y'all saw the big sled out there in my office. My health has been shit for 6 months. They gave me enough crap that I actually toted a sled in from my house. And now I go out there and push it. And I post a video to my buddy Matt and tell him to go F himself every single day. Then I'm pushing the sled. And he's like, hell yeah, baby. But I had to find people to help push me. If you can't get there, find somebody that can, right? You feeling me there? Back to imposter syndrome. You got to build up those small wins and start to believe in yourself, right?
Could I add something to that?
Please do.
Yeah, it pertains to both sides of that with the imposter syndrome and the whole friendship type thing. The one thing that has, because freshman through sophomore year, definitely I had imposter syndrome. I was surrounding myself with the wrong crowd. But the two things that I really taught myself was to always compare myself to who I was yesterday instead of someone else today. And
Can you get 1% better? Right?
Yeah.
You got me? Can you get 1% better? Do one push-up. Right?
yeah, wake up, make your bed, like something that just starts your day.
I put out some content recently. It was on start your day and end your day on gratitude, right? What are you proud of? What's something good to happen? Now, some of you guys are having a rough time, and I said on the video, maybe you didn't fall down a flight of stairs. Maybe that's the best you can come up with for the day, right? But that's a win. Welcome. Come on in.
My sister.
What's up, sister? Good luck with that. Good Lord. Does she admit this in public or just you? Does she admit to being your sister in public or okay? Smart girl. So yeah, back to imposter syndrome. It's killing you, so we got to combat it, right? It starts inside. You got to give yourself some credit. You got to start and end your day in gratitude. Those two things will help you greatly because at least then you start and end in positivity every day. And if you do that in positivity, you can only be positive. It is physically impossible to be depressed if you will get your ass up and go for a run. Right? Change your physiology, your language, and your focus. That's the old triad from Tony Robbins. You guys should look into that. If you change those three things, you can't be depressed and you'll always be moving forward and positive. Physiology, how you're moving, get up and go run. Language, hey, today's actually pretty good. Today's pretty cool. Focus. I'm going to focus on the good and the good things that are going on. Got me? Cool. Next question. Somebody in the back.
There's a bunch lining up.
I got 900 there. You'll have to help me read some of them. Pick out really good ones as we go. What you got in the back?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure my question can relate to a lot of people who are up and coming or getting their first internships that's out of state, but I'm facing a lot of backlash from my family for wanting to move out of state for this first internship and looking at outside of the home to go work full time. And
Sure.
and I want to, and I've been facing a lot of self-doubt, but this is a career that I want to pursue in. How do I stand up? How do I basically, how do I stand up for myself in that way, or what's the first step to get started to break that cycle?
Anybody else got anybody in their circle or their family that's kind of trying to keep them down and hold them back? If you really look at it honestly, what you got to do with those people?
Put it in a box, put the box away.
Cut them off like Van Gogh.
Cut them off, bro. Move on with your life. Tell them no. The only way, my mom and I had a very stormy relationship for about 10 years of my life. When I finally realized, okay, she's my mom, I love her, and it's on me to make this better. So when she started yelling, I said, Mom, I gotta go. I'll call you tomorrow. And you know what? Over a period of time, her whole attitude toward me changed. Because if she yelled at me, she didn't get to talk to me anymore. But if she was cool and talked to me, we talked for hours. You got me? The world gets you or gives you what you accept. Okay? If you accept them holding you down, they're going to hold you down, right? You don't have to argue with anybody. What's your name back there? Martine?
Yes, sir.
Who's in charge of your life?
But now, so personal wise, it's me. But
Is it?
But in retrospect, my parents are, because they're the ones that have the roof over the head and everything. But
You don't need a roof over your head, dude. You're telling me if you were out of a place to live, somebody here wouldn't give you a spot for a couple days? Anybody got somewhere you can stay for a day or two? Yeah. All right, you're good, dude. You can move out now if you need to. All these things you think are limitations, are they really? Or are they just things you created in your own mind? Okay. Now, this is huge in especially incredibly cultural families, Latin, Asian, etc., right? What mom and dad say, that's how it is, right? What grandpa says, that's how it is. But are they where you want to be? I mean, I'll ask you that question straight, right? I start every class I talk about finances with how many of your parents are millionaires, and no one ever raises their hand. And I'm like, why the hell are you listening to them? If your grandpa, your uncle, or your dad are not where and who you want to be, you don't have to take all of their advice. Should you dismiss it? No, they're always your dad or your mom. You should listen to them. In there somewhere is a nugget that is useful, right? Got me? Here's the thing. You're in charge of your own life, right? And if you're not, take charge of your own life, because you're the one that you should be holding responsible for what you do each day, right? When you look in the mirror, who's ultimately responsible? You are. And here's the thing. Martin, they don't want you to do it. What if you went out and did it and you were incredibly successful and made $20 million and bought them a new house? What would they think?
That it was all them. That's like,
And let them think it's them, because you know what it is. You should give your parents some credit. You got me? There's a lot of people, anybody here just want to do it to spite their family? Okay, that's very useful. That rage and that anger is useful, but it will burn you out over a period of time. Okay, so use that in short terms. You got me?
Yeah.
Don't let that fuel you the next 20. That'll be ulcers and hate and a family that no one talks to each other. You don't need that, right? Family's super important. Having that support system and having strong people around you is very good. And again, what I said earlier, you want to find 5 people that are better than you, but you also got to help bring up your family, right? Okay, Ed Milet, he's a great speaker, incredible dude. He's put out a book. I may have it over there. It's called The Power of One More. And in it, he talks about, he's a big Matrix fan, right? Neo and the Matrix, all that kind of stuff. And he talks about, if you study any major, very successful family, Rockefeller, Kennedy, the big ones, in every single family, you can trace it back to there's one person that made it all happen. They were the one. And he asks you in this book and in the video that goes along with it, why don't you be the one? Especially for a lot of you guys whose families have jack shit. What if you were the one that made it all happen? What if you were the one that changed it for everybody coming behind you? Great grandkids and great grandkids talked about you being the patriarch that made it all happen. Is anybody here is the first member of their family to go to college? Or any of you guys the first member to actually come to the States? You got some work to do, right? You got an incredible opportunity and you got a chance to really change the life of a lot of people, right? You got to make that happen.
Professor Zane, can I add on to that?
I wish you would.
So, especially for those who were said like they're the first generation growing up in America, I can relate. My family comes from Sierra Leone, Africa. I came to America when I was 2 years old because of a civil war that broke out. If you ever seen the movie Blood Diamond, that actually happened around the time I was living there. And I came to America and my mom came to America a few years later. I say all that to say I do understand what it means to come from a third world country-based family. And I will say this, and once I learned this aspect of thinking and understanding, life became a lot easier. And then I really just stopped caring about what other people had to say. You got to understand that people's opinions or ideas are limited based on the information they understand and they know. And if your parents did not grow up in America, they're limited in their information to a certain extent because the fundamental foundation of their learning and understanding came from a different country. A lot of things don't translate. Even to this day, my mom's been in America since I was 2. I'm 28 years old, and there's still a lot she just doesn't understand. So there's an aspect
where, back there. I love it.
So there's an aspect where I decided to start my own company. And as I started like developing my business understanding of taxes and things of that nature, and I started teaching my mom, there was a lot of things she was skeptical about. But there's the idea that a lot of this information is limited for a reason. There's a lot of things that you have to go out there and learn every single day. And this is why it's important to have mentors and people who've went out and have already done it. So a lot of times
you want to find people that have done it and have that experience that are out there. And then you want to learn from them and make it your own decision, right? Don't just do what other people say, especially as engineers and technical people. Really dig into what it is and make your own decision based on fact, right? And the thing is you can get a little piece of information from everybody. Even a complete idiot will help you. Only thing they can teach you is they're an idiot and don't talk to them anymore, but at least they taught you one thing. You can get something from everybody. So I highly encourage that. Now for your parents, you have to remember that they're really just trying to look out for you, right? Is anybody parent here who just doesn't care about them at all? You may think that, but it's probably not true, right? Mom wants the best for you, dad wants the best for you. The problem is they have a framework, just like he was just saying. They know what they know. What's a boomer going to tell you nowadays? Oh, just show up and get a job. That doesn't work, right? The world has changed. Okay, but we still take their advice and appreciate it because they do have a point. Eventually you can show up. Just make sure you did all the other stuff first.